Hello, my lovely, beautiful, amazing, fabulous, awesome subscribers. Here I am with the Lilith update, my new daily update on just what's going on in the transits. Me just chilling on my couch with my laptop in self isolation from New York City. And I really just wanted to chat with you guys every day and, provide some insight to what's going on with the collective. I also bring a little of my own intuition into it, and I spill the real tea, as we all love to say. I'm not, Lilith is out. There's no sugarcoating here, so let's get started. And so we are in to Gemini season, 1 degree. And we have the moon in Taurus today. And we're leading up to that new moon in Gemini on Friday, which I'll speak more about later. But one thing that's really popping out to me today is that Venus retrograde in Gemini, pretty much at an exact square with Neptune in the sign of Pisces. And I just want to think back to a meditation that I had earlier today. I really got super into a deep, deep meditation, and all that kept popping up for me is a lot of you guys that are in social isolation. And I feel like I've been saying this ad nauseum in my other videos, but I just got a visual of someone sitting on a throne with like a cup, and they themselves are coming with a full cup themselves. No one else is coming with a full cup and pouring it in, and just there's like an endless supply of water, and it's just like a infinity flow of water between themselves. And I really think that's interesting that I saw a twin of someone because it's Gemini season. So I really feel like this transit is really all about, are you filling your own cup in your relationship, or are you using someone else as a crutch? Or are you using outside forces as a crutch? Or has this time brought up some triggering feelings that you realize you were using outside sources as a crutch and using outside influences as a crutch to feel fulfilled when deep down you know you're not? Ooh, I sound mean. Sorry. But that's really what I got today. And that's what I'm getting from these transits today specifically. And I think a lot of you that may ring true. Neptune is also deception. Neptune is like, are you deceiving yourself? Are you like seeing this person or this situation as like better than it is? And this Venus retrograde is like, um, do you think it is though? So bringing back 2012 issues, which I've mentioned in earlier videos, I think, bringing up emotional issues, that something that you may have been deceived about before is like triggered. Neptune and Pisces square is triggered in your certain relationships, and that's causing you to now want to react in a certain kind of way, or causing you to now think. Gemini, speech, thoughts. Mercury is also 1 degree away from Venus in retrograde in Gemini today. So those conversations in the North Node, those conversations might be lively, might get lively as we get deeper into this changed world, because like outside things are changing. It's either adapt or like fucking succumb to the difficulty, succumb to the stress. That's basically what is happening. Things are just so different now. Are you gonna change it, or are you gonna just succumb to feeling down about it and stressed about it? It's like you're the master of your own destiny. You're the master of your own cup. Gemini's the twins, but Gemini people are one person, but they have that duality. And a lot of the time when you think of like the essence of Gemini, it's really like they're not emotional. They're very logical, rational, just a pure essence. I'm not talking about the entire chart because they could have a rising, Scorpio rising or Scorpio moon, and or Pisces in their heavy in their chart and feel deeply. But the purest vibration and essence of Gemini is logic, reason, entertainment, so being social, but entertainment in the sense of wordsmith. They're able to entertain with their words very well. That's the pure form. So when that's, clouded, your judgment is clouded, or you're having to relook at the way that you've been expressing yourself in relationships, it's using that logic in the purest sense. Using that, is this really serving me? If it's not, drop it. Not cling to it like someone like Cancer. Cancer risings have Gemini in their 12th house because that sometimes that light rational side is hidden. Or, Sagittarius has Gemini in their 7th house. So they tend to pick partners who have that rational side to them and are more of a wordsmith and articulate and social, versus Sag, who worries about the expanded long-term vision and can speak to that. Gemini worries about, the small details, your locality, and things that are closest to you. So we have those polar opposites now at the North and South node. And we're heading toward that lunar eclipse in Sagittarius on June 5th. And, Cancer's going to get slammed again June 21st, a solar eclipse in their sign. And I'm going to get to that once we, get closer to. So keep watching. But, and not to mention, we have the sun in Gemini pretty much sun is at 1 degree, and Mars in Pisces is at 5. So they're pretty much forming a square. They're not exact, but close. And all this Gemini energy is squaring this hazy, escapist, confusing Pisces energy. So y'all are really confused, I think. And of course, I'm here to provide clarity to that, but I think in your own lives, it's really navigating that fog to come out rational and logical, and to be able to make the right decision that serves you. And it might be a little bit of a struggle, especially while we're, still getting hit by this transit of Venus retrograde square Neptune and Pisces. We also have a sextile between Uranus and Taurus and Mars and Pisces today. And, the moon is separating from Uranus. That energy I talked about yesterday, but now that the moon is separating, this, sextile is happening in its, 2-planet form here. Mars in Pisces, and Uranus in Taurus. And this is still triggering change in your values. This is still triggering not only change in your values, but being able to carry it out in a intuitive way with Mars and Pisces. I think another thing is people also, just on a collective scale, this is causing people to think that it's okay for us to, reopen. I honestly think, my honest opinion, reopening carefully and everyone taking the right precautions is the way to go. I mean, you can't keep people in quarantine for 2 years, which is the time frame that I suspect this will keep coming and going, especially when we have the nodes where they are, and people's lives will feel constricted, with Saturn and Aquarius. But this is like the gateway. I feel Mars is a trigger, and when Mars aspects an outer planet, and Mars in Pisces triggered some shit and Mars in Capricorn triggered, some things with world events. that I've spoken about in past videos. But now we have Mars triggering Uranus and Taurus in a positive way. So we want to make sure we do it carefully. Who knows how the collective will act? I feel like I've seen Cuomo ad nauseum say, it doesn't matter what we do, or it doesn't matter what we say. Like, we can set all these laws, we can say all these things. Sorry if I'm misquoting it, but basically the essence of it is what all that matters is what you do as an individual for the collective, which is like, hello, like Saturn in Aquarius, like that is what the transit's about. But that's what he keeps saying, and that's really what this means to me. Is it's like, okay, like things are open, but are you gonna Mars and Pisces it and just not be clear, kind of just do things and not really have a reason to do them, and not really navigate in a clear way? So yeah, it's like, are you going to navigate in a clear way? Are you going to just walk with, rose-colored glasses, like, oh, this is over, and we're not going to change our values, Taurus. We're not going to change our values. We're not going to change what we're about inherently as a society. We're just going to reopen and everyone wear a mask and, use hand sanitizer and wash your hands. Instead, we should be looking at our collective society. And I'm just going to speak to America because I live here. I'm quarantined in honestly, the hub of the epidemic of the entire world. So I'm just going to speak to the United States. But as a global society, I think it also trickles across there. Like, we're all connected. But are we going to change our values as a whole? Uranus and Taurus. Are we going to change our values? It's really interesting. I saw a meme created by Little Miss Flint. She is an activist. She's very young, and she's an activist. She looks like she's probably in middle school. And she is an activist in Flint, Michigan, and was advocating for people who didn't have clean drinking water. Like, Flint, Michigan doesn't have clean drinking water for fucking years, and no one evacuates, no one gives them another place to live, no one helps them, no one shuts anything down. But yet now, something that's affecting everyone as an entire whole, not just Black people, but everyone, do we have shutdowns? And not to mention, the AIDS crisis, when things weren't shut down, like people were scared, but, because it wasn't, straight people, and it wasn't, the status quo, people didn't shut things down or act like they cared as much as they do now. Or the government, I should say, not people, because there are people that cared, of course. Or, world hunger with kids right here, drug epidemics, addictions, all of that stuff. Like, we don't shut it down. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have shut things down here. I'm just saying, what are our values? What are our values? And so then when you translate that over to your own life, the Uranus in Taurus square Mars in Pisces, what are your values in your own life? Let's not think about current events and world events, but what are yours in your own life? Wherever this is, it could be transiting your career. What are your values there? Is what you're doing aligned with what you're about and your originality and your self-worth? Is that making you feel good every day? What if this is with your family or relationship, lack thereof relationship, place you live, places you have traveled to, and now that you're sitting here and thinking, and alone, like, what's your plan for the future? Like, where, school, all of that, like everything. This is basically asking, what are your values in the area of life that's happening for you? So that's a very interesting aspect. And actually right now too, we have, the sun right now is making a trine to Jupiter in Capricorn and Saturn in Capricorn, out of sign trine. That's a positive aspect, but we still also have to remember Pluto is, and they're still very closely hugging, Pluto, Saturn in Capricorn and Saturn in Aquarius are still close together. So they're making trines to the sun in Gemini and the moon. So these are positive aspects. But we have to remember that this trifecta here is really like the energy is just getting amplified, and it's not necessarily the most positive. So I think, the sun and the moon, these are emotions and who we are as a collective. People are talking about it. And that's getting triggered. That really is getting triggered more for the collective, with the sun making these positive aspects, really having those conversations. I think I see all over, social media and everything. At least mine, the news feed is very targeted. It's like, you only see basically what you want to see. So I can only really go over that. It's not like I can go walk out and talk to people with completely different opinion than mine. Maybe I should start following more diverse opinions, but that also is triggering, so maybe not. But my opinion is I've seen a lot of people speaking out, and in a large amount of people watching, like on YouTube or liking or commenting, speaking out about shady stuff that the government is doing, or second guessing, certain things that have been fed to them by the media. So we have this big spotlight being shown on these power structures. And, it's like, shall we talk about it? And then once we talk about it, are we going to really start making a plan for a more sustainable future, making a plan for, more of a holistic health future, teaching people the ways of the universe, teaching people, metaphysics and how to work with the universe's energy and how to manifest things for themselves and how to step into their own power. Would we ever do that as a society? That's really what this like retrograde slowdown and, this Pisces square Gemini energy is trying to push. So it's like, are we going to do that, or are we going to continue walking around blindly in the matrix and putting band-aids on old tired crap that isn't working anymore? I know I put band-aids on old tired crap. Please, like, I am not one to judge. I'm just relaying information that I see and that I, absorb. Trust me, I'm taking my own advice, but it's, do you want to keep beating a dead horse and putting band-aids on old wounds that should have healed a long time ago, and you need to work on them now? Not to preach at you, but this is not a light time. Like, this is not light energy, and you know it. And so for me to sit here and be like, chill, like, it's just not gonna serve anyone. And I'm a Scorpio, I'm emotional and intense. So are you? Let go. Like, recently when I watched the Verses with Erykah Badu and Jill Scott, I revisited some of her old songs, and Bag Lady is literally Venus in Gemini. Literally. I should put that on my Venus and Gemini playlist, which I actually will put a link to that below. It's on Spotify. They're non-love songs. They're actually like, meant to lift your spirits or take you there, or put you in your feels during this crazy Venus retrograde time. But check that out down below. But that song, do you want to go into the next phase of your life, this new world, this new horizon? Do you want to go into that with like tons of bags? And then if some woman or man or whoever sees you coming and they go running from you, like, that's the song. Like, that shit popped up in my head. I was like, yo, synchronicities are on point right now. But yeah, do you want to keep carrying around like baggage? Like, and it's also like, if anything, this time has taught all of us, life is so short and precious. Why spend another moment? Why spend another second in a situation that is not fulfilling and that you don't want to. Why? Like, why would you not want to be somewhere ever for more than a second? Because of obligation or money or, time. It's like, let it go. I know Scorpios always cut the cord really fast, but let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. You got to check that song out. I'm going to put it on the list. It's good. So yeah, that's my rant for today at the Lilith update. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below how you're feeling, if this resonated with you. Also, questions, comments, things you want to see, because I'm doing these every day. And I've actually decided I'm only going to do them weekdays because I need the weekend, and that's pretty much what it is. I also believe in work-life balance. So that is it. Speaking of this weekend, actually, I wanted to also remind you guys that on Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, we have an exclusive class for members only on lilithastrology.com, and I'm teaching you all about the 12 houses in astrology. So I will go over every single house, what it means, what sign rules it, what planet rules it, the mythology, and it will be available for you guys to watch at a later date, anytime you want, if you're a member. So you can also watch, I did a Venus retrograde talk, that's for members only as well. And there's other great perks to becoming a member. You get a free reading with transit reading per calendar year. You get discounts on other readings. You get exclusive invites to certain things that other people won't get invited to. So join. All right, guys, I will see you back here tomorrow for the new moon in Gemini. Have a lovely, lovely, lovely day, and peace.